part 2. We're back. So, we talked about what an ephemeris is and why we need it. Now, what are we doing with it? So, you know your local mean time. Covered that in the first video. You've got your ephemeris in front of you. What do you do now? So understand that an ephemeris gives the sidereal time for noon each day of the year. If the desired time is before noon, as many hours and minutes as that time was before noon is subtracted from the sidereal time. If it was afternoon, add instead of subtracting. This answer gives you the sidereal time for the required moment. So, if I have a sidereal time of 1:15 p.m. and the time that I want is 12, I subtract 1:15 from that because it was before. Or if I want 2:30, I add an hour 15 to it. So, that answer is going to give you your sidereal time for the required moment. However, because we gotta have a little trick with it, rock with me here, and I would have to make a whole other video why. But, if you are in the southern hemisphere, and this is important, if you are in the southern hemisphere, you add 12 more hours. So, if we want to find the sidereal time of 4:30 in the morning, April 4th, 2016, then we see that sidereal time at noon, April 4th, 2016, was 10 hours, 49 minutes, and 34 seconds. 4:30 a.m. is 7 hours and 30 minutes before noon. So, we subtract 7 hours and 30 minutes, thus with a sidereal time of 6 hours, 19 minutes, and 34 seconds. If we're to the southern hemisphere, we would then add an additional 12 hours, making the sidereal time 18 hours, 19 minutes, and 34 seconds. Now that we've found it, now that we have the sidereal time for the required moment, we must consult a map, either physical or digital, and figure out the latitude of the location we are dealing with. So, for instance, Chicago to the nearest degree would be 87. Knowing both the sidereal time and the latitude, and having some form of ephemeris, we can start the creation of the map of the heavens. And all you gotta do is copy tables. Generally, you'll do a circle, is the chosen form. Though, the form can also be a square in some ways, such as with the talisman. And the important information is known as well. Your map is going to be a chart of the vault of the heavens. The eastern horizon will be on the left. The western horizon will be on the right. The top part is the visible part of the heavens, the north sky and the southern latitudes, and the southern sky and the northern latitudes. And for the sake of keep on with our example of Chicago, actually no. So let's say our auspicious time was found to be 10 hours, 23 minutes, and 14 seconds, and we're using a latitude of 50 degrees. So we go to our ephemeris, under the table of houses, and the table for the latitude required. In the left-hand column, we'll find the sidereal time that most closely matches the desired one. So 10 hours, 23 minutes. Opposite of that, in the column that's going to be headed with a 10 hours, you're going to find the figure 5. Take your finger up that column until you reach a sign of the zodiac. In our example, let's say that we find Virgo. This means that 5 degrees of Virgo are on the beginning of the 10th house. From the next column, we can see in the same way that the cusp or the beginning of the 11th house, and then the 12th house, and the first house, and so on. So we're going to fill these in on our map, on our circle of the sky. Fill each of these in to correspond with what we found. Now, again, Southern Hemisphere, radical alteration has to be made. All of your signs are going to be reversed. What was on the cusp of the 10th house is now on the cusp of the 4th house, and so on. So considering that your ephemeris is calculated for northern latitudes, you got to make two quick, crucial alterations in the southern hemisphere. Add 12 hours to the time, and reverse the sign on the cusp of the house. With all this in place, what you're going to get is a map of the houses, a map of the vault of the heavens. Then you're going to be able to insert the planets. If you've got a good ephemeris, it should have the longitude for each planet for each day at noon GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. The big thing to remember is that the planet's position has to be calculated according to Greenwich Mean Time. So, for instance, if the auspicious time that we were working at was 2 p.m. in Chicago, it would be 7 a.m. by Greenwich time. The table will give their places at noon, but calculating for 7 p.m., it should be apparent that they're not quite as far on the zodiac as indicated by the table. In the case of the slower planets, this should be very negligible difference. As a general rule, this is what we can assume in any given 24 hours. Got your notepads ready? Rock with me here. Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter do not move at a significant amount. Again, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter do not move at a significant amount in 24 hours. Mars, we figure it moves about half of a degree in 24 hours. So, except Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, not at all. Mars, half of a degree. The Sun, Venus, and Mercury, about 1 degree. The Moon is about 12 degrees, or 1 degree every 2 hours. So if we know a planet's position in the zodiac at noon, very quick math will easily point out its position a few hours earlier or later. Now, the planets move through the signs in order from Aries to Taurus and so on. So, when you find in your ephemeris that the days are marked with the letter R, it means they're in retrograde, or appear to be moving in the opposite direction. And this must be kept in mind when calculating their position. Remember, 30 degrees in each sign, and the planets pass through them in order. If a planet is in retrograde, a D indicates that it's resuming its forward motion. Now, we're going to have to do a third video where I'm going to explain how we map the planets and what we have to do that's very important beforehand. I will return it.